I am going to try, and I'm going to fail, to be as calm as I possibly can about making this video. Now, before we get into any sort of emotional tirade, because let's be perfectly honest with ourselves, that's exactly where this is going, I want to go ahead and set this precedent right now, okay? That as emotional as I can get, as heated as I will get about this, as much as I have zero actual connection to the team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't pull a paycheck from them. I don't even live in the city anymore. I don't even live in the state anymore. At the end of the day, I recognize this is just a sport. And we're talking about a team for which I cheer but have no other connection. We're talking about a sport which I love and I watch on a regular basis, but again, I draw no paycheck from. Maybe someday. I understand that a lot of this seems irrational, that it's going to seem like an overreaction to people who are not fans. And to you, I say, you're probably right about that, okay? But let me also say this. If you're just here to dunk on me or to dunk on the Lightning, there's the door. You don't need to be a part of this video, okay? Let me feel my feelings, damn it! Anyway, I recognize that sports brings about a certain level of passion with its fan bases, and all of a sudden, a team that you have supported for your entire life, a team that you own jerseys for and have bought tickets for and own memorabilia of, and you love certain players because you've gotten to meet them or you have autographs or whatever the case may be, is the more ingrained that you get into a fan culture for a player, a team, a sport, anything, it is going to elicit a certain emotional response when good things happen and when terrible things happen. And unfortunately today we're talking about a terrible thing that has happened. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and let's get going on this. This is just one take. There's no cuts. There's no nothing. You're getting everything right from my mouth right now. The Tampa Bay Lightning have officially parted ways with Steven Stamkos. Now, that's not the most accurate representation of it as far as the actual facts about how it happened. Yes, they allowed him to test the free agent market, and wouldn't you know it, within seconds of free agency beginning, it gets announced that he has signed probably the last deal of his entire hockey career with the Nashville Predators. 4 years, $8 million. Good on you, Steven Stamkos. Go get your bag. Now, fans of the team unfortunately probably saw this coming a year ago. A little bit less than a year ago. We knew that this past season was a contract year for Steven Stamkos. We also knew that from the very beginning of training camp that general manager Julien Brisebois was basically against not bringing him back, but against even having the conversation about bringing him back, okay? If you're talking about a quote-unquote normal piece of your team, right? Somebody that you've brought in on a couple of year deal. Maybe they started as a rental and they're like, oh, this actually works out. This is a pretty decent fit. Whatever the case may be is probably a different story, okay? This is Steven Stamkos, the captain of your team for the last 10 years. Played his entire 16-year career in Tampa Bay. 2 Stanley Cups, 2 Rocket Richard trophies, 1 Mark Messier award, 7 All-Star burst, and basically every franchise record that a forward can have for this team, or for this sport, with the only one he doesn't yet have, and apparently now will not have, is all-time assist leader for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He fell 7 short behind Martin St. Louis. Pretty good name, don't know if you've heard of him. And now they just decided to let him walk. Look, I understand. Hockey's a business. Sports are a business. I get that. And at the top levels of executives and a front office and everything, you need to have a certain level of shrewd businessman mentality to get the job done, to make sure that your team stays competitive, can go and win more championships, and so they can get more money. That's what it's about, right? I get it. I truly do. But there's something to be said for letting the best player in your franchise history just walk away. Just walk away. And you know what? This all could have been avoided. Let's go back in time, I don't know, 2 days or so, to the NHL draft. During the first day, during I think round 1 or 2, it gets announced that the Lightning trade away Mikhail Sergachev, blew the minds of pretty much every hockey pundit, personality, reporter, what have you. Nobody saw that coming. Him and his $9.5 million contract, I think, went to the recently expanded Utah Hockey Club. Okay. Well, that kind of solves a lot of the cap issues, right? I mean, that's $9.5 million of extra space. They're definitely going to re-sign Steven Stamkos. And if you watched my previous video, I said that Julien Brisebois was probably going to try to lowball him at around $7 million, even though he is definitely worth more than that. He was just playing on an $8.5 million contract. Could have been paid upwards of 10 depending on the team, but I digress. Everybody in the organization said, this is it. This is the answer we've been looking for. They brought back Ryan McDonough, get the gang back together, and they unfortunately parted with a large contract, most likely so that Steven Stamkos can retire as a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Yesterday, June 30th, it comes out that Julien Brisebois essentially gives him 2 middle fingers and says, yeah, go test the open market. No, we're not going to extend you a different offer. You know what? Here was their offer. Okay? Here was the initial offer. Here's what Steven Stamkos was looking for. Let's keep in mind that apart from his entry-level contract when he was a rookie in 2008, he made $7.5 million and then $8.5 million. I thought they were going to lowball him at 7. You know what he was asking for? $4 to $5 million. He was willing to take that big of a hometown discount, and you lowballed him. You slapped it right across his face as far as what it is concerned. I'll let you fill in the gaps there. I would like to not throw out any more profanities or vivid imagery than I likely already have. You undercut your franchise's best player in history when he was taking a hometown discount of a significant amount. Significant. You go on the low end of this right here, that's half of what he was making. I know he's 34 years old. I get it. Okay, this is the last contract he's going to sign. And if you're signing him long-term, it's so that you can, most likely, buy him out within 3 to 4 years. When he's getting close to turning 40, you just say, Steven, thank you for your service. Please retire. We're going to buy you out. It's been a wonderful career. No, none of that happened. Holy cow. I genuinely can't believe they lowballed him like that. And because of that, he ends up going to Nashville. And you know what he ends up signing? What he's worth. For once in his effing career, he signed for what he was worth. 4 years, $8 million per year, $32 million. That's it. He's done after this, most likely. At 38 years old, highly doubt anybody's going to sign him. Oh, sure. Tampa might get him to sign the one-day contract so that he can retire as a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning. These are platitudes. You want to know how he really feels about it? Go and listen to any of the interviews that he has done today. I can't play any of them because they aired on Sportsnet and on TSN and basically every TV station that would not allow me. They would actually give me a copyright strike if I tried to play it. Go and listen. Go and listen to him talk about how he valued loyalty and self-worth in these negotiations. That money wasn't the thing he was after, that he wanted to stay in Tampa. That he wanted to retire here. He wanted to not only do it for him, but he wanted to do it for his family, for the rest of his team that he loves. It's a shame. It's a damn shame. And I sit here and I genuinely cannot believe what has just happened, because in some aspect, this felt inevitable. From the beginning of last season, it felt like this may be the end of the tenure of Steven Stamkos with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then we get these little glimpses of hope. Oh, he performs really well during a contract year. Maybe they're going to bring him back. Oh, they're bringing back Ryan McDonough. They wouldn't do that unless they clearly have an interest in retaining Steven Stamkos and giving it one last go with this core. They cleared out $9.5 million worth of cap space. And we're going to talk about Jake Gensel at some point. We're going to talk about Mikhail Sergachev at some point. We're going to talk about these 4 other names that just came across the table that they signed at some point. But in the meantime, I feel like I can't help but channel Nate Thompson's feelings. Nate Thompson, okay? NHL journeyman. He's played damn near everywhere. Went to Twitter today. He played with the Tampa Bay Lightning from, I think, 2010 to 2014. So early in Stamkos' career, right after he took the captaincy. That's what he had to say. Tampa Bay Lightning will have this stain on the organization forever. Successful or not next season, it's still a huge mistake. Lost a captain and one that produces. That's all on the surface, not even mentioning his off-ice impact, which is bigger. Smashville is laughing now. Laughing! Now you may say, oh, this is just the response. This is a reaction of one player, and you might be right about that. How many other teams were dying to get their hands on Steven Stamkos? I heard today, New Jersey was in on him. Boston was in on him. Supposedly Vegas might have wanted to do something with him. There were so many teams that they see his value! Even at 34 years old, even towards the twilight of his career, when production is eventually going to drop, they still see it. And the Tampa Bay Lightning organization doesn't. And it's infuriating as a fan to know that the loyalty that this man showed you for his entire career, you basically gave him 2 middle fingers on his way out the door. It reminds me of that clip from The Simpsons where I think it's, was it Milhouse's dad is getting fired? He says, well, that's it then. So long and good luck. And the guy sits back and says, I don't recall telling you good luck. That's what this feels like. Unfortunately, this is not the first time that's happened in Tampa Bay Lightning history. I said in my last video, 2013, then captain Vincent Lecavalier bought out by the team. Didn't play that much longer. They gave the captaincy to Marty St. Louis that season, and then they traded him too. And then they gave the captaincy to Steven Stamkos. And we haven't had a different captain since then. I wonder who it's going to be next. My money's on Victor Hedman. We'll see. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. And from that first cup team that Steven Stamkos was on, this is what's left. This is from OCP Designs on Twitter. 7 players left. Chernak, Kucherov, Vasilevsky, McDonough somehow, Hedman, Point, Cirelli, and right in the middle of all of them should still be Steven Stamkos. But we're not that lucky. And unfortunately, what it means is that for the next 4 years, the rest of Tampa Bay Lightning Nation, and the rest of the NHL has to get used to seeing this. I'm never going to feel good about it. Where do we go from here? I don't know. But what's done is done. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish Steven Stamkos all the best in Nashville. May you go win 4 straight cups. May you finally get the value and the worth that you have desired from your organization. If he was ever feeling up to it, I'd send him my jersey so that he could sign it and then put it in a shadow box. But let's be honest, that's not going to happen. So in the meantime, yeah, that's all I got. this flurry of emotions that is within me right now, I got to do something with it. And there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of upset feelings. There's a lot of sadness. And it's going to come back once again. The first time that Steven Stamkos takes the ice for the Nashville Predators, the first time that he takes the ice against the Tampa Bay Lightning, I'm going to be a wreck. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll be back with some more of free agent coverage. We'll talk about Gensel. We'll talk about Sergachev. We'll talk about all the things that are coming in the next few days. Till I see you again, go Bolts. It'll never not be Stammer time.